Nodes are the building blocks of every workflow in ComfyUI. Each node performs one specific task: loading an image, writing a prompt, choosing a model, saving a result. It's a lot of functions, and you can connect them together to create a complete pipeline, the workflow. In this chapter, we'll look at what nodes are and how to add them, how to connect them, and how the color-coded connector system works. Now, there are two ways to add a node to your canvas, essentially. Right-click anywhere on the canvas and a drop-down menu will appear. This menu organizes all available nodes into categories so you can browse through and find what you need. Now, if you double-click on the canvas, a search bar pops up. Type the name of the node you're looking for and select it from the results. This is the method I use almost exclusively, and once you start learning the names of common nodes, it's much faster than browsing through the list and the menus. Now, let me show you a few examples so you get a feel for what nodes actually do. Load image. Now, this node lets you bring an image into your workflow. You can drag and drop an image directly onto it, or click to browse your computer and select a file. It's an input node. Its job is to feed an image into whatever comes next in the workflow. Clip, text, and code. This node has a text field where you type a prompt, a written description of what you want the AI to generate. It's also kind of an input, but instead of an image, you're providing text. Now, what this node actually does is it takes this text of yours and changes into AI language that the AI model can understand. Load diffusion model. This node lets you select which AI model your workflow will use. It loads that model into memory, so the rest of the workflow can use it for generation. Now, there are many different variations of load model nodes, but the load diffusion model node is probably one of the most common ones. Reroute. This is a tiny utility node. It doesn't process anything. Its only purpose is to redirect connection lines on your canvas so that they're easier to follow. As workflows get larger, the lines connecting nodes, often called noodles, can turn into a tangled mess. Now, the reroute nodes let you create cleaner paths and keep things organized, but they're in no way a requirement. Now, these are just a handful of the basic nodes that come with ComfyUI out of the box. If you double click on the canvas and scroll through the search results, you'll see there are hundreds more. Now, let's talk about how nodes communicate with each other. If you look at any node, you'll notice small colored dots on its edges. These are called the connectors. To connect two nodes, you click on a connector on one node and drag a line to a connector on another. But there's a rule here you need to understand. Every connector is either an input or an output, and this is determined by which side of the node it's on. Left side means it's an input. Information flows into the node from here. And if it's on the right side, it's an output. Information flows out of the node from here. This means data always moves in one direction, from the output of one node into the input of another, left to right. You can never connect two outputs together, and you can never connect two inputs together. The flow always goes out on the right, in on the left. You've probably noticed that connectors come in different colors. This isn't decorative. Each color represents a different type of data. A connector of one color can only connect to a connector of the same color. This prevents you from accidentally feeding the wrong kind of data into a node. Let's go through some common ones. Green is usually called a string. A string is text. Any text, a short word, a paragraph, a path, a file path, prompt before it gets converted into AI text. Green connectors carry written information that we as humans can read and type. On its own, the AI needs an extra step to understand this raw text. We're using the clip text encoder to do that. It needs to be translated into the latent space first, which is where our other nodes come in. Blue connectors carry image data in the RGB color space or in the pixel space. RGB is red, green, blue, and it's a standard way digital images store color information. When you load a photograph or generate an image that you can actually look at with your own eyes on your computer, that data usually flows through blue connectors. Now these violet or purple connectors carry AI models. These are the large files that contain everything the AI has learned during training. Models come in several file formats. The most common one you'll encounter is .safe tensors, which is the current standard. You might also see .gguf files. These are kind of compressed versions or quantized versions of models that use less memory, making them useful if your computer has limited resources. One format to be aware of is the older checkpoint format, .ckpt. This older format that is largely phased out because it could potentially contain hidden malicious code. If you come across a checkpoint file, I'd recommend avoiding it and looking for a safe tensors version instead. Ping connectors carry data in latent space, and again, latent space is where the AI actually does its work. And if you could look at latent data, it would appear as meaningless noise to you because it's not meant for human eyes. It's the AI's internal workspace where images are being constructed before they're turned into something you can actually see. The reverse is also true. The AI doesn't natively understand our images or text. It needs data converted into the latent space before it can work with it and convert it back out when it's done. Now, there are obviously caveats to this, but this is the simple way of thinking at it like that. Red connectors carry a VAE model. VAE stands for variational autoencoder, and its job is to convert data between the two worlds we just described. It can take a regular image and encode it into latent space so the AI can work with it, and it can take latent data and decode it back into a visible image, our pixel space or RGB space. Think of it as a translator or a portal between human readable images and the AI's internal language. Now, the yellow connectors carry clip data. Now, clip is a model that translates human readable information, like your text prompts, into a form the AI can understand and use during generation. When you type a prompt describing what you want, clip is what turns those words into a meaningful signal for the AI. Now, the orange connectors are closely related to clip, and once clip has translated your prompt, that translated information becomes conditioning, the set of instructions that actually guides the AI during the generation process. Conditioning tells the AI what to create, what to avoid, and how to shape the output. It's the bridge between your words and the AI actions. Now, conditioning can contain more than just written text. You can send ControlNets or images through conditioning, but that's more on the advanced side. Turquoise connectors, or these teal ones, carry ControlNet models. ControlNet gives you a way to control the structure of your output beyond just the text prompt. For example, let's say you have a photograph of a person standing in a specific pose and you want to generate a completely new image, different person, different style, but in that exact same pose. ControlNet can extract the pose from your reference image and force the AI to follow it during generation. It works for more than just poses too. Edges, depth maps, and other structural guides can all be used through ControlNet. So to recap, nodes are the individual building blocks. Connectors are how they communicate. Direction always flows left to right. And colors tell you what type of data is being passed. Once you internalize these rules, you can look at any workflow, no matter how complex, and start to read how data moves through it. And that should help you understand the workflow a little better.